Hello and welcome to episode 2 of From the Writer's Desk. And I come to you from the north of England where winter has truly taken hold. I really felt that bite for the first time today. If you're new here, two things to say. One, this is basically a weekly video on my YouTube channel where I update you about my writing life, what I've been into, what I've been promoting, what I've been writing, what my progress is this week, and what my plans are going forward. And the other thing is, just to get it out of the way, I have just a almost like comically large spot on the side of my face. And you know what? If I could move my office all the way around and shoot from the other side, I might well have, but I can't. And so, there it is. And I'm sure you're going to be staring at it. I'm sure it's going to take up a lot of your attention, but hopefully, because I've brought attention to it, maybe we can let it pass for now. So these videos, they come to you in a few different parts. The first part, I'm just going to chat about my week, what went on, what went well. We're going to do a bit of a writing update, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up, and we're also going to do the prompt for next week's short story. If you don't know about that, then I'll explain that a bit deeper into the video. So last week, I would say there are two notable things. The first thing is, as a writer, I think maybe the reason I'm doing this, and you can probably relate to it quite heavily, is that, you write these things, you sit alone, you're at your desk, and at some point you say, well, if I want anyone to see any of this stuff, then I have to promote it. And that will probably make you turn to wanting to make videos, maybe on TikTok or YouTube, like I'm doing now, and just generally having a bigger social media presence. So that's what all of this is about. And I started this channel at this beginning of the year in earnest, and I would say in January I did quite well. Well being a relative term, like I got close to 100 subscribers, and I really felt like, if it was something that I stuck to, I could build it. I thought maybe that's 100 a month, and so by the end of the year there'll be 1,000. But things get in the way, you get sidetracked, and I would say I took an extended break while I actually worked on my book of short stories, and then I've come back to it a few weeks ago, maybe about 8 to 10 weeks ago, and since then the videos haven't been doing half as well. However, the news from last week is that I actually published what ended up being my most popular video I've ever made. It was a video about a book called Alchemized. I'm not going to go into it too in depth here. If you want to know, you can go and watch that video. But the point is, why did it do well? Well, it was topical, I think. It was something I was seeing online. I was seeing videos about it. I was seeing TikToks, and I just had some feelings. It was quite natural. I had some feelings. I had some thoughts. I posted it. And usually the videos, they end up getting, most of them got fewer than 100 views. And this one has just passed, it's over 2,000 now. It's probably going to finish closer to 3,000. So that's something that's in my mind. Like, I'm doing these videos, and these videos, as I said last week, they're kind of more for me. They're a record, but to keep me honest, to keep me writing, to keep me going. They're more of a diary than anything else. And so I'm not too worried about them getting tons of views. If people watch them and they like them and they can relate to them, then great. But then these other videos that I'm posting in the week, like, I realize now that I can't just talk about what I want to talk about. I might do that as well, but I have to try and tap into larger conversations while still being authentic. And I think I managed to do that last week. And I think I've seen the rewards of that. So I'm really pleased with that. The other thing that happened, which I did today, actually. Literally this morning, I did my first live stream. I had this idea that I was gonna, in order to make writing less precious, in order to make my ideas, me stop fussing over them as much, I had this idea that I'd make this random prompt generator, and I would generate a prompt in this show, and then I would do a live stream later in the week and completely write a story from start to finish, which honestly is an intimidating thing. I would say that I managed to get over that a bit, and as the story went on, resist the urge to fix typos and bad grammar and repetition and uh, bad overused metaphors and all of these sorts of things that come out in the first draft. I managed to get over that in the end because I wanted to finish it so badly. And to be fair, it worked out really, really well. I wrote the spine of the story. It's still up for the moment. I might take it down if I decide I'm going to work on it and try and sell it. But for the moment, it's still up, so you can watch that in the live section of the channel. And I would say it went pretty well. Like I got the spine of the story down. I wrote the stream was over 4 hours long, but it went quite quickly. And I added another short story to the list, and it went well. And I'm going to do the same for next week. So they're really the two big things. So let's go ahead and move over to a writing update now. So you can see that the short stories, I'm aiming for 10. It's kind of jumped up to 4 here with this new one that I've just written. Our word count has jumped up, and you'll see that my best day has increased as well. This is today, so best day, 18th of August, and almost 4,000 words in one day, and that was just all from that one story. So we've jumped up a bit. We've made some progress, so that's really, really nice. And if I do end up submitting it, then maybe we could get those rejections up a bit as well. So we load the projects up here. I worked a bit on this endling story here, but mainly this was the one. This is the temporary title. They come from within, just because it kind of fit the theme of it. And you can see that this week I did do a little bit of writing on the Wednesday, but the main bulk here came on the Saturday, and I think that's probably going to be how the weeks will play out, at least the next 2 before we get to November. And I think I'm probably going to do NaNoWriMo, so not that much to report really. I didn't do any submissions, but 5,000 words in a week, even if most of that was on one day, is pretty good going, I would say. So that's the writing update. I guess not that much to say on that in this one, but what we can do now is just, I think, generate our prompt, and I think I will probably end up doing the same thing with next Saturday. So I was a bit later than I said I was going to be this week, but I think next Saturday around the same time, 10:30 to 2:30 feels like a good time for me. And I do it in sprints, so I do a 5-minute chat to start off with. We do an hour-long session, another 5-minute chat. We do another hour. I have a 15-minute break. We do another hour, 5-minute chat, and then I do a final half an hour to do any cleanup, or in this case, finishing the story. So it's pretty hardcore, it's pretty intense, but if you feel like you need to bump up your writing, if you want to have a go, I also welcome you to use this prompt that we're about to generate now. I'm not precious over them at all, and I'm sure we'll end up writing completely different stories, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's generate next week's prompt and see what we get. Okay, so we've got internet hunting is the practice of hunting via remotely controlled firearms that can be aimed and shot using online webcams. All right, that seems like a pretty fun one, to be honest. Yeah, it seems like something definitely got a sci-fi tin. Definitely can get my teeth into. So I'll be thinking about that during the week. If you want to write along with me next Saturday, then feel free to do that too. In the meantime, if you enjoy these, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, leave me a comment below. Tell me how your week's been, how you're getting on, what's been a win this week, what's something you need to work on. And I'll see you next week for another update.